Welcome to Cosmic Channels. I'm your host, Braden. Welcome to your show. I just hosted the Cosmic Call-In Show, where we take all your stories about the paranormal, UFO sightings, ghost tales, Bigfoot sightings, creature sightings, and everything in between. The lines are now open. 1-833-703-0424. We're looking for that first caller, the most important caller of the night, in my opinion. Got to make sure the lines are working. Little news. Hopefully there's no mysterious background music playing this time. People were curious if I was going for a lo-fi jazz background music last time. I have no idea how that played. That came through. I have no idea how. It was some background music I was using for another show. I don't know how it ended up in the live stream and I couldn't hear it. But I think I got that all sorted out. But if we don't have a call on right away here, I'm going to leave the lines open. I'm going to send you right to a fan submission. So like that, let's go to a fan submission. Just a reminder, the lines are open. Give me a call. We can chat while we're waiting for the story to end. Send you over to a little special someone.
Hello, everybody. This is Agent Anderson from the All Things Strange podcast, here to read for you a Cosmic Channels story from listener Logan Baker. My name is Logan Baker, and I live in the small town of Carlisle, Ohio, which is about 30 minutes south of Dayton. My girlfriend, our 1-year-old daughter, and I were staying in a 2-bedroom townhouse in the middle of town. Nothing strange had ever happened there until one night, this past February of 2019. I sleep extremely heavy, and I always sleep until my alarm wakes me up. On this particular night, I was sleeping in my bed with my daughter wedged between myself and my girlfriend. Out of nowhere, I snapped out of my sleep into a sitting position. My eyes shot straight to the open bedroom door. As I sat there, frightened and breathing heavily, I saw a figure as tall as my doorway just standing there. It was about 7 feet tall, extremely skinny, with long, lanky limbs and a fat head. I couldn't really make out any facial features, but I was only able to look at it for maybe 2 or 3 seconds before it dissolved into my door. It looked like it digitally faded into the same pale color as the door. This happened very quickly, and my startled awakening scared my daughter, and she started screaming loudly, and that snapped me back into reality. I wasn't into all of this alien stuff until the past few months, but the figure I saw was pretty consistent with the tall grays that I seem to hear about a lot. Since I've seen this creature, I've seen some other weird stuff, but none as up close as that. This experience is what makes me believe in the multidimensional theory of aliens, because I associate the weird dissolving of the creature with some sort of technology to allow them to quickly go in and out of our plane of existence. I've had some people try to explain this as a dream that just became too real for a couple of seconds, but I dream pretty often, and I've always been able to distinguish between what's real and what's not. This was a pretty weird experience, but I swear it's true, and it really freaked me out. This occurred at about 3 in the morning, and I didn't need to be at work until 5:30, but I just stayed awake because I couldn't go back to sleep. I hope you guys enjoyed the story, and maybe come up with an explanation. Keep on theorizing, my dudes. Absolutely love your show. Well, thank you, Logan, for sending in your story. We really appreciate it. Crazy story. My personal evaluation? No. Nope. No thank you. I think aliens need to stay up in the sky where they belong. All right, well, if you have a story and you are too yella to call in, you can always email that story to CosmicChannelsPodcast@gmail.com. Although you should probably just call in because Braden's a nice guy. You'll have a fun conversation with him. But if you can't, if you're too yella, you got a funny schedule or something, just send it in, and you never know who's going to read it on the air. Could be me, could be one of the theorists, might even be Jesse Ventura. Can you guys get Jesse Ventura? That'd be awesome.
Woo! We're back. Thank you to Agent Anderson for calling in with that. We did get We did get a caller on the line, and we got him on the line. Let's bring him on. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, I'm Tommy from Eugene.
Right on, Tommy. What do you got for us tonight?
All right. Well, so I used to live in Reno, Nevada, and I used to live in this old, all the houses that were built in like the 1930s and 40s and whatnot. And it was an old punk house. We used to have shows there and like whatever and whatnot. And I used to sleep down in the basement. And the basement was always like super creepy. You know what I mean? And but anyways, I went down there one time and I didn't have a fucking flashlight or nothing. And I lived, like I said, in the basement. And it was just a room built out of plywood kind of around the water heater and shit. And so I was down there and I went to go like grab like my wallet or something. And I'm sitting there, and as soon as I walk downstairs, like all hair is standing up on the back of my neck. And I'm not, I'm on the atheist side of things. Like I don't believe in like afterlife or whatever.
Yeah.
But as I'm going down there, like everything is just telling me like, no, dude, like go the fuck back upstairs. So I'm walking down, and I go and I light my lighter in my room to go and check this shit out, and I hear this crazy like growl off to the side of me, just like a guttural growl, and there's no one down there, and it's pitch black. And as I light my lighter, I just feel like a burst of air in my face, and my lighter goes out.
Oh my
and
God.
I just booked it right the fuck back upstairs. You know?
Oh my God.
And I used to sleep down there, and so I didn't sleep down there that night. But
I'd never sleep there again.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm very skeptical about things. There's usually a reasonable explanation of things, but like that one, I was like, that was just too freaky.
So, just a couple questions, like like there's no chance of like a raccoon getting in there or something that could make that growl. I don't think I've heard of like a guttural growl. Maybe not a raccoon. I'm just trying to eliminate whether or not there could be like a specific animal that maybe snuck in a window. Did you feel like could it have been a draft? I'm just trying to eliminate what like in my head. I'm like, is it that?
No, dude. Like, all right. You know how like some like basements will have like like the basement windows up towards the top when you're standing in the basement.
Yeah, like the
creepy
ones.
All of those were boarded up. So I guess it could have been a draft, but
the growls.
I don't know.
The growl's what I mean? The growl's not coming from something outside.
Yeah, and just like that feeling you get when something's wrong. Like, oh shit, I shouldn't be here.
Yeah, that's terrifying. Any other times down there you get that feeling, or is it just a one-off?
Well, actually, the same house, but the opposite. I went through the crawl space in the ceiling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just to see what was up there, and we got up there, and there's holes. Like I said, it's an all fucked up house. There's holes in the ceiling, and like you can like see like where all like the rain damage was and everything. But I found an old newspaper, like you put a quarter in it and you pull the newspaper out.
Yeah.
There was one of those up there. I was like, oh cool, this is awesome. And then I'm trying to fit it down through the crawl space, and then again I heard just the hair on the back of my neck just kind of stood up. I heard something weird, and I got so freaked out I kicked the newspaper distributor and broke the trim around the crawl space home. Crawl space
listen,
hole.
Don't feel bad. That's a reasonable reaction in the circumstances.
Yeah, man, I was like, I need to get the fuck out of here,
So do you get that? Uneasy feeling? Does that uneasy feeling come first before you like hear the sound, or is it all kind of at the same time?
Yeah, every time in that house, And I've like nowadays I spend a lot of time like outdoors and stuff like that. Like I know what it is to like have like awareness, and then just have like sudden just like crazy goosebumps and just like, oh shit, something's wrong. Like if that you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Yeah,
it's weird. I've definitely
it's more fun than it was anything.
I've definitely had experiences like that where you get the hair standing on you. You're like, oh, something's wrong, but like never inside with like a guttural noise. Like to me, that is the most terrifying thing, especially because that's where you're supposed to be safe, and you're like, oh god, it's in here.
Totally. I spent a lot of time in that basement, like I lived there, and most of the time I was, it was fine. It was just every once in a while, you'd get this super eerie, like stand up on your toes kind of feeling, and then some weird shit would happen.
Yeah, it's absolutely horrifying. And did you live with any other people? Any other people that have any experiences in that house?
A bunch of people have had experiences. I guess when they pulled up the original, the carpet or whatever, there was like the original. It was either like car decking or like hardwood floor. I guess there was like a pentagram and shit like written there.
Oh yeah, that
But
checks
I mean,
out.
but it's been a punk house for decades.
Yeah.
So who knows? Those probably
those damn punks.
Some asshole kids. But yeah, I mean, like it was nothing like extraordinary, but it was definitely freaky, and it's something I think about from time to time.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, those kind of experiences always do stick with you. I don't care who you are. It's like, especially when you don't have an answer.
Yeah.
So it's they linger with you. How long ago was this?
Oh man, I'm like 34 now, I think. Yeah, I'm 34. That was probably when I was like 22, 23. So yeah, about 10 years ago, a little give or take.
10 years, and it's like, I mean, that's a long time for it to be sticking with you if it's for nothing, right? Like it's definitely left an lasting impression on you. So, what do you think?
No, I like.
You've said you're not really like an afterlife person, but what are your thoughts?
Well, that's what it gets kind of confusing, because like being on the atheist side of things, you're like, well, there is no afterlife, but energy cannot be like created or destroyed apparently. So it's like, maybe there's some like residual weird thing, kind of like a VHS tape or something, it's just imprinted there,
And I've made a commitment to the chat that are listening that if they have questions for callers, if they're timely questions, I'll ask them. One of the questions is any smells that you noticed, there's anything out of the ordinary like during those times?
Buddy, there was no bathroom down there, so I used to piss in Gatorade bottles. I'm sure there was a smell.
Yeah. That's self-caused, though. Listen. I've pre-beer breaks doing podcasts. There was a couple piss jugs known to be floating around the studio, so I don't blame you. I hear you.
Yeah,
it happens.
But as for like a sulfur smell or something like that, I mean,
or just anything out of the usual. Because I think sulfur. I think people just say sulfur because that's a big movie. But like maybe there's other smells too. Like maybe some people with ghosts say they smell perfume, right, of whatever the person likes. So.
Let's just say for legal reasons, I cannot explain why my nose was clogged at the time.
Okay. Yeah. All right. No smells. All right. We'll leave it at that for legal reasons. Tommy, anything else?
It was crazy.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for calling with us.
Yeah, definitely. Other than that, I mean, dude, I did see a UFO one time in the desert. This is in a little place called Fallon, Nevada. Me and my cousins were all sleeping on the trampoline like you would do back in the day.
Yeah.
And you just saw this giant triangle black mass go over, block out the stars. And what's crazy about the desert is it's always clear skies, so you can always see the stars. So when you're out in the middle of nowhere like that, you could there is no light pollution, and that was pretty nuts. It scared us enough that we ran inside, but I don't know. That was so long ago.
I really that's been really interesting because I've been doing podcasting and stuff for 8 years. I've been fascinated with UFOs for longer. My whole life I've loved aliens and all that jazz, and it's like only recently has truly tons of stories coming up about like the absence of light causing people issues, because normally it's like I saw a weird light float around, but people are like there was something there that it was just an abyss that moved around
it was like a mass.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It wasn't making any sound or anything, and it was just cruising. Was it super slow?
High altitude or super slow?
I mean, it was hard to tell, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it could have been fucking. Yeah. And plus, I was a little kid.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I mean, listen. The United States also has some pretty fucking wild aircraft. So I'm not. Whenever people tell me these, I'm like, you know what? It's either you either one's cool. I mean, aliens are obviously cooler, but if you also saw an advanced aircraft like out for a test flight, also cool. Not nearly as cool as aliens, but I mean, still quite cool.
Right. I know, I wouldn't even just chop it up to an actual alien craft. Who knows what the hell it could have been, you know?
So, hey,
But
Tommy, thank you so much
still,
for calling in with those, dude. That's awesome. Thank you for being the first caller, man. It is the most important call of the night because I literally, every time I sit in here, I go, I hope I set everything up right and it works. And I'm sitting here waiting for
that's
someone
awesome.
to test it out. So thank you so much for calling in.
Yeah, absolutely. You have a good night, dude, and yeah.
You too. Take care of yourself.
All right, later.
Bye. Just like that. That's been a theme. That's been a theme of Cosmic Channels the last couple of weeks. People calling in with the sightings of the abyss, the absence of stars. But just like that, the lines are back open. 1-833-703-0424. We're accepting all calls. So if you want, you got a crazy story you want to tell, you got a theory, you got a conspiracy theory you want to share, you got a question, 1-833-703-0424. We've had tons of support from everyone with Cosmic Channels. We've been growing like crazy. Our current goal is to get a podcast ad campaign. It's going to cost $500. We're more than halfway there. That's thanks to all the supporters. Easy way to support the show, YouTube Super Chat, the paypal.me/Cosmic Channels. There's a little QR code on the live stream. All that goes towards right back into the show. I've made a commitment to just everything we raise goes right back into the show. And there's now another way you can support the show and, get yourself a little something cool. We launched our merch store. We've got some Yodo t-shirts, which is a coined phrase, you only die once, from the show, and a Cosmic Channels OG logo shirt. We got a sticker. Don't buy the sticker. I'm going to take that off the store. They're a little too pricey for my liking. But we need a call. Who's calling? 1-833-703-0424. I want a UFO story. I want a ghost story. You got you heard ghost footprints. You seen some weird guttural growls in your basement. I want to know. Call in. Let me know. I can't sit here all night. The show only survives with the calls and stories from fans. So make sure to call 1-833-703-0424. I've had a lot of people humming and hawing saying, I'm going to call. I'm going to call next week, maybe the week after that. Now's the time. I got no callers on the line. I lied. I got a caller on the line. Thank you so much. Cosmic Channels, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name's Mike. I'm from upstate New York. I'm calling in. I got a ghost story.
Oh, I love it. Upstate New York.
You love it?
Yeah, I love it.
Perfect.
Let's hear it.
All right. So this is about, let me think. Let me set a time frame here. I believe it was about 6, maybe 7 years ago now. So me and my girlfriend at the time, we drove back to her place, and it's about, I don't know, 12 a.m. I would say, and so we get out the car, and so I'm kind of just standing up against my car, just outside, just chilling, taking in the scenery, because she kind of lives in a foresty type area.
Rural?
So I mean, I was just yeah, exactly,
Okay.
right. So, I'm just kind of chilling there. And then, so I kind of look over my car, so my back is against my car, right? And then, so I kind of go, and there's like these hedges that kind of take up where her parking lot was, or I'm sorry, the driveway. And so I look over, and I see something kind of like a white figure. So me being the unaware person, I take out my phone and I put on the flashlight, because I'm like, what is this, right? So I'm staring at it, and I point the light towards the figure, and it doesn't process in my mind yet, right? So I aim the flashlight down, and then I aim it up again in that direction, and my heart sinks, because I'm like, oh, I know what I'm looking at. It's a ghost. So I come to this realization, and the first thing I do is I run inside, and I ask her, I'm like, hey, I think I just saw a ghost out there. I don't know how to feel about this.
Yeah, I mean that's a weird thing to just like that your brain instantly is like ghost like holy like terrifying.
Yeah, no, yeah, because I put on my flashlight and I look at it, right, and it's not there, right. So then when I aim it down again, I see it in front of me, and then so I do this like 3 or 4 times before it really sets in, and I'm like, that's a ghost looking at me, and I'm looking at it, and we're just sharing a moment here, looking at each other.
Yeah.
And to this day, I still can't explain it, but I'll tell you, before that, I didn't really believe in ghosts, and now it's like I think I do.
Why? Yeah.
I've never yet had a moment like that again.
Because I've had like stereotypical like ghost footprints stuff, but I've never seen an apparition, like an actual physical manifestation of a ghost or anything. So it's and just so every time you shine the light like up to see the face, you couldn't see it, and then went back down
like
to the
it was
feet.
gone. Exactly. It
Okay.
would disappear when I shined the light at it, and then when I aimed the light back down, there it was in front of me.
So how?
And so I did that like 3 or 4 times, and it was like, oh.
Yeah, what's the vibe?
I'm sorry,
what's the vibe you got from that ghost? Like, was it looking right at you?
I didn't really like experience like fear in that moment. It was more just like that's what that is. That's a ghost.
Oh,
I didn't really feel any like malicious intent or anything like that. Like I think we just kind of were staring at each other.
And
I did some research at home, and like to me it kind of looked like it was wearing like a bridal like cowl, like a white, like just I don't know how to really describe it, but it was like wearing all white.
Yeah, a lady in white is like one of the most, I would say, popularized like apparitions that's seen. A lot of times it's a woman unwed who died before like being
that's
wed.
The conclusion I came to.
And a lot of times that is from, a lot of people say that like the culture back in 1800s and stuff, there was so much more emphasis on being married. So some of these women that went unwed and died or died tragically and never got to marry, it was so important to them that it bothered them so much in death that they don't leave, they hang around, right? Like it's because they missed that opportunity.
Like, I mean, I was mystified because I'm like, it was so just weird for me because it's like I was a stern, like, I had to see it to believe it, and in that moment I was like, well, I guess I believe now. I mean, I can't doubt what I just saw and witnessed. And then when I questioned her about it, I was like, have you ever seen this before? And like she hadn't, but she had friends that were around that had witnessed it themselves, and I was like, well, okay, I feel
a little vindicated.
Like, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, it's nice when you're like, you bring something like that up and someone else is like, no, yeah, other people have said the same thing. You're like, okay, I'm not crazy. Maybe I should go get checked.
No,
okay, I'm good.
Exactly.
Question in the chat was the ghost actually looking at you, or was it just looking in your area? They want to know if there was like an eye-to-eye connection.
See, that's the thing. Like the cowl was so like.
Oh, so just I know what you mean.
It was very hard. Like you couldn't really see a face. You can only make out like just a body pretty much, and like I knew it was wearing like a whole like bridal cowl, but it was a weird like floral. It's hard to explain because it like you can't make out any like features of the face. There was no features of the face. It was just like I can't even describe it. Like you couldn't make out any of the face.
You
it
couldn't
was all
see
just
it
the
through.
cowl.
Yeah, and listen, I know we're gonna get, both of us are gonna get exposed in the chat and stuff because I definitely, the veil. That's what it's called.
Yes. Okay.
I'm
I'm like a 6 foot. I'm like a 6 foot dude, and so if I had to give like an accurate height, I would say maybe like 5'4". This woman stood. Right?
I would say that's average.
But that's the thing. Like it didn't move.
Height.
It was just there, like there in front of me, and I shared a moment of like, flashing a light on it a couple times, up and down, to like really see what I was seeing. And I was like, okay, that's what it is.
Now, so when you decide, did you like did you book it like into the house, or did
No,
you just like kind of
like I was
just like,
very
this is it?
calm about it. Like I no, I'm sorry, go on.
You're just like, oh, this is it. Like I have to leave now. This whatever we're sharing here is over.
Yeah, I think more than anything, it was like a disbelief of what maybe I was seeing. So I had to like I wasn't really. I'm more maybe anxious about like figuring out what I just witnessed, and so it was like this moment of like eureka, like that's what it was, like that's a ghost. And I mean, I have like another account of like possibly a ghost. It's really really short, so I mean, if you want me to just throw it out real quick, I can.
Okay, let's do it.
About a previous
Let's
job.
do it.
And,
let's hear it.
okay, sure. So I would say maybe honestly about in that time frame, like maybe 6-7 years ago, my first job I worked at like just a mall, like I was just a floor guy, I rode on a machine, yada yada. But I was friends with one of the security guards that worked at my job location, and on occasion he would come find me, and we'd just talk about whatever. But one time, so he comes up to me, I'm on break, I'm just in the back room. He comes up and he says, "Hey, I got to show you something." So, I follow him to, the security room where he brings me to his computer and he shows me. He shows me a video of like this palm tree that's like set up in the food court, and so where it's like located, there's no wind, there's no doors, no anything. We're like, this is third shift, so in the middle of the night, dead of the night. And so this palm tree bends and falls over in the middle of the night. And like, I mean, that's pretty much it. Like it bends, you see it bending at a weird angle and then just falling over. And to this day, I'm like, I don't really know what I witnessed there either in that video. Like it bent and it fell over.
I mean, that's inside, like no wind being a factor?
Yep. No wind. It was in the food court in a mall, and it bent and fell over.
That's so weird. I'd have to look up, like, just in my head, I'm like, maybe palm trees, but it's inside. Oh, that's so weird. Like, there's no way that it's like grown wild.
Yep.
So it's like,
and now like it's not like rooted to the ground. It was like in a pot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they'd obviously
like,
move
the whole
those
pot
things.
And the tree bent from the top, and it bent at like an angle. Like if folding your hand down into your palm, it was kind of like that with the top of it, and then the whole thing fell over.
Yeah, it's so.
Which is really weird. And I think when I asked him about it, he told me, don't tell anybody about this video. Like, just don't tell anybody. And then I think he mentioned that in one of the courtyards, like I guess it's an Indian burial. I didn't really like press him on it, but
yeah,
that could be why right there.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, yeah, that's all the makings. Now that's so freaky because it's like, especially when you catch this. I've seen other like camera footage of weird stuff happening, but it's like,
yeah,
the mall and that kind of stuff. Like, I would assume they're taking precautions because like you can't have that falling on a customer in the mall. Like, for liability
now
reasons.
mind
so
you,
like,
I mean it was like 3-4 a.m. So I mean it was closed, but
what?
It's just a weird happening.
But that's what I mean is like they'd obviously have like, if that thing was shaky, they'd be like, okay, we're like, this one's out of the mall. It's gonna tip over. We don't like the looks of it. But for it to actually see it bend and then tip, I'm like, that's creepy, weird. Too bad. I wish you could get your hands on that footage. That'd be cool to see.
It's probably long gone by now. It's been so many years, but I mean, I still know the guy. Like, he's a cool guy. So I mean, if I ever run into him, I can always ask him, any other weird happenings.
Now, before I let you go, there's a game on the show that we used to play, called What's in the Box,
Oh, you brought that back?
I got
Okay.
it. I got it back here. So I want you to cast. We're looking for. I have a box. I have a picture. I have a live stream of it, a live feed of the box on the channel, so you can see it. So you don't have to picture the box. You can actually see it.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you how big the box is. I'm not going to tell you anything. All you get is that image of the box. If you can tell me what's in that box, send your mind to it. Right? Send your mind to it, and if you tell me what's in that box, I will send it to you. It's cool. The only hint I'll give is I think it's cool.
Okay, all right. Well, now you're setting me up for something. Let me really think about this. If it's cool enough to send,
well, to be fair, I've said if whatever I put in it, if you guess it, I will send it to you. Whether that be a spatula, a pair of scissors. If you guess it, it's yours because this is your.
Let me think here.
Yeah, send your mind to it.
Let me really send my mind here.
Yeah, I'm picturing myself putting the object in the box. I did it a week ago.
Okay.
And I sealed it up. Tap in and tell me what's in the box.
Oh man, you're putting me on the spot here. Okay. Is it? Why is this so stressful?
Well, psychic sight. Sometimes remote viewing is hard. It's difficult.
I'm just gonna wing it. Is it a wristband?
It's not a wristband. But hey, thank you so much for calling in. I love the stories. Really appreciate the calling in and sharing those. Hopefully they spark some more. The kind of what happens on Cosmic Channels, I find, is it takes a while, a little bit to get the wheels going, and then a couple calls, people are like, fuck, I got a ghost story. And then the first couple callers kind of changed the show. So thank you so much for calling.
I've been a long-time listener, and I've always been kind of nervous to call in, but you know what? I'm glad I did.
Me too.
I've been listening to you guys for what seems like forever, since, probably 7 years ago at that mall job, and you guys are awesome, and just keep doing the good work.
Hey, thanks, man. Really appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys so much.
Take care of yourself.
Alrighty, bye.
That's awesome. If you've seen security footage of a ghost, call in. I got a call on the line. Calls take priority. Let's go right to the call. Cosmic Channels, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Braden?
What's
it's
going on?
Shadow Ursi
What's
from
going
Discord.
on? Shadow Ursi from Discord. Also, one-time fan submission reader. I think I featured yours last week.
Yeah, send me more. I'll read more.
Yeah. Just on that note, if you are listening to this and you would like, you got a story, you got a YouTube channel, you do something creative that you'd like to promote by reading a fan submission, shoot me an email at CosmicChannelsPodcast@gmail.com. Or if you just would be interested in reading a fan submission, so it's not always me reading them, just shoot me an email at CosmicChannels@gmail or CosmicChannelsPodcast@gmail.com, and I'll send you a story. I've got tons in the bank. It just takes me a while to get through. I only send out enough that I can, when I get them back, I can edit them. But Shadow Ursi, I think you got a ghost story for us. I'm sensing it.
Yeah, no, I do. I have a really spooky one from my tells on deployment.
Beautiful. Let's hear
it. So the little fob that I was on in Syria was taken over by the rotation before mine from ISIS. Like, we got rid of them. Quote, got rid of them and occupied the spot.
Yeah.
So they built a little area, which then, after their rotation ended, mine took over. So there were 5 towers for tower guard on this fob that was always manned at all times. This particular day, I had just gotten back from a long 10-hour mission. But mission or not, you still get put on fucking tower guard. And I had mine at like 3 or 4 a.m. in the morning. And we had to do 2-hour rotations. So I did a 10-hour shift. I'm tired as hell. I'm in full gear, full vest, weapon, helmet, everything. Heavy and tired. And I go to my tower, which is Tower 4 in the big rotation. And I'm sitting there, the first hour, I'm starting to get super tired. And my lazy ass decides to lift my IOTV or my plate carrier up on the little wall to like alleviate some of the weight.
Yeah.
And then I look out at the field, scanning the area, and all of a sudden I hear loud thunks from behind me. And to get up to this tower, there's like 6 wooden stairs. It's made out of wood on top of ESCO barriers. Think of it like a large sandbag fence with a wooden shack on top. And there are 6 wooden steps going up to the platform I'm standing on. And I just hear loud boot, like steps going up to my tower.
So someone
So
like
me
someone's
knowing
coming.
I'm
Yeah,
doing-
someone's coming.
Oh yeah, like with anger, like someone's angry
Oh,
stomping
you're like,
up
fuck.
the steps.
What have I done?
Well, I already said I was being a lazy ass and putting my plate carrier up on the wall. So I knew I was doing something I wasn't supposed to. And usually there is what's called an NCOIC. It's a sergeant in charge. He gets put on like a 12-hour shift, and he goes to each tower to check on each guard to make sure they're being
snitch duty.
vigilant and watching. Yeah, but usually you know when he's coming to your tower, because when he gets to like Tower 1, he'll call in Tower 1 radio check, and they'll be like, radio check, Sergeant, and then move on to the next one. So you can kind of like be ready for when they show up.
Yeah.
So when I heard that stomping, I had just heard Tower 2. So it was about 30 seconds after I heard Tower 2 call in. And then I heard the stomping, and I got scared because I was like, damn it, I'm about to get caught and reprimanded. So I stand up, I turn around, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, Sergeant. I was looking out, and no one was there. And then I hear Tower 3, on the radio. And then I wait, and then the sergeant shows up, and I hear the thunking again. And I turn around, there he is, and I'm talking to him, and I tell him what I heard. And if he came up earlier for whatever reason in my tower before the other ones,
Yeah.
he said no. And as I was talking to him, we both heard it again from behind us, and he turns around to tell someone they're not supposed to be up there, and there's no one there.
Jesus. So that's just that gives me the heebie-jeebies there. So both you guys are up there. You hear the footprints and just nothing. Did you guys investigate? Like, did anyone run down the stairs to like kind of do a quick look? Like
he went down to look because no one was supposed to be out of the tents at this hour. There was a smoke pit right next to us.
Yeah.
So I thought, after the first time, I was like, maybe someone just went to smoke.
Yeah.
But I couldn't leave the tower, so I couldn't verify that. But he went down and no one was there, and he came up and he was like, well, that's fucking weird. All right, bye. And then left.
He's like, I'm not staying out here in this haunted tower.
Pretty much. But to further verify like the hauntedness of the area, we had a large IR camera on a tall tower in the center that had 360 rotation to look around the outside of our fence. And Tower 2 at one point, our main building area spotted someone walking around the outside of our fence line around Tower 2. And like on the IR camera, it shows up with a signature. And everyone on guard has IR goggles or IR nods, and they can see about the same as what the center building's IR camera can see.
Yeah.
And they asked Tower 2 to verify if someone was walking up, and the person at Tower 2 couldn't verify it. And the sergeant in charge went up there because the guy was still standing, according to the center IR camera. And neither one of them could see the person that the guy at the center building could see. And then the guy in the center building watched him walk back around the corner. But no one else could see him. And there's a recording of it from the center camera, but the guys at the tower looking down at the area couldn't see it.
Huh. So what are your thoughts? What do you think's out there then in that area?
I think it was haunted as hell. Like I said, ISIS had the area beforehand, so who knows, who they harmed before we showed up.
In the area, yeah. Yeah, that's creepy, man. Especially the IR stuff. Like, you're like, it's so weird that one's picking it up and then other people can't verify it. They can't see it. It's like there wouldn't be any like animal or anything like that's too small or anything that's like the center tower's more sensitive or something.
Goats and lambs and the villages around, but they're like ways away. We could see them far out. They're not allowed to be close to our base area.
Now, just in the comments, I just want to verify one thing. Uncle Slam in the comments is saying NCOIC equals Dwight from The Office. Can you confirm?
Pretty much. It just means a non-commissioned officer in charge.
Yeah, okay.
And someone who didn't go to college.
Assistant to the regional manager. Yeah.
But no, it scared the hell out of me.
Yeah,
at the time.
That's terrifying. Anyone else on the base have a similar experience? Was it kind of like outside of that IR, but like hear the footprints and stuff too?
The only thing that I have been told, first platoon, mine did towers 4 and 5, and then the other platoon did the other 3, including Tower 2. And I've only ever heard another story of a ghost about Tower 2. Tower 2 is different from all the other ones. Think of like a giant tube tower with like a bird's nest on top. You have to climb a ladder going up, and then there's a trap door. You open it, and then you close the trap door, and you stand up there. The guy at Tower 2 has reported getting knocks on the trap door because, you got to knock because the guy's standing up top.
If he's standing on it,
might fall through. He heard knocks, and he lifted up the trap door and to let the sergeant up. There'd be no one there, and that had happened quite a few times.
Oh.
And this is like 2 stories tall, so there's no way anyone could like drop down and run out as a joke.
Yeah, it's terrifying. I mean, especially out there, because you already have a sense of like, I could be in danger at any time, and then you're like, this is the last thing I fucking need is some paranormal activity going on here.
Right, ghosts should be the last of my worries.
Yeah. Like we got M16, not proton packs. We're not equipped to handle these threats. Shadowsy, thanks for calling, sharing those ghost stories. I can only imagine there's more people with military experience and veterans and stuff that have crazy experience, and if they want to call, I hope you inspire them to call in and tell their weird experiences.
Absolutely. Once it's on the news, it's not secret.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Oh, before you go, you want to take a stab? You want to send your mind to Island Studios and tell me what's in the box?
Sure. You said, I heard you say that it was cool.
Yeah.
Did we get any hints for
No
guess,
hints.
or
no hints?
One hint.
No hint. That's it.
All night.
That's the only thing I'm going to say is I think it's cool. But that's a low threshold.
Is it a necklace chain?
No, it is not. Shadow Ursi, thank you so much for calling in.
Yeah.
Have yourself a good night.
Yep. Have a good night.
Take care. It is not. I'm not going to give too many hints. I'm not going to give too many hints on what's in the box. You got to give me a good story to get a guess. I forgot about the first caller. Sorry, but calls on the line. Let's bring them on. Cosmic Channels, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
A long-time listener, first-time caller.
Woohoo! I'm trying to no, I was like, that's not the first time someone said that. I was trying to think, but no, there's been a couple. But congratulations on popping the Cosmic Cherry and calling in. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
No problem. I'm John Jacoby from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Dude, wait a minute. You're like a many-time caller. What are you talking about?
Well, nothing. Hey, but I wanted to share a little story. So I lived in this real old house. Hey, are you getting any feedback right now?
No, it's good. It's good on me. Are you getting feedback?
Okay.
Turn off the live stream.
I'm getting a little feedback. It almost sounds like somebody's breathing into a microphone.
That's just me.
Oh, never mind. That's just you. Okay, I got you.
I'll lean away while you're telling the story. Go for it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I lived in this old school house.
Were you roasting me on purpose? Is that we? Shots fired?
I was just joking. I'm just a funny dude.
Dude, it takes me 3 days to edit all the breaths out of these episodes. So all right. I'll leave back. There you go. It's all yours. The floor is yours.
Yes. All right. So I lived in this old school house in Hillsboro, Ohio. You guys never heard of this place? Real small town. And it had the hideaway doors that slid into the walls. It had the attic that pulled down from the ceiling, that the stairs fold down like the weird angled ladder.
Yeah, the terrifying ones.
Man, and it was the creepiest house I ever lived in. It just felt like there was something evil watching you all the time. And you go up in the attic, oh my God, it was very scary up there. And we watched Paranormal Activity in that house.
Yeah, bad.
And it seemed like it got worse, and it was like nothing really happened. It just felt like there was something evil just watching you, following you around and stuff. It was super creepy. So when I moved out, this other family moved in, and they ended up calling paranormal investigators to come to the house and do a whole thing. And it's on YouTube and everything. But
do you know the YouTube? So people listening can go check it out.
I can't remember the address. That was years ago. I've been married twice since then.
A friend once, it's good. A friend once told me everyone needs one good divorce. So
yeah. I've had 4 kids since then. I can't remember an address.
But it's crazy that I could only imagine if you were having experiences that much that it's why not? Why wouldn't you make that call? So that's a cool thing that you lived at somewhere where someone thought that was necessary. We should fucking maybe.
Yeah, because I didn't tell them at all.
Yeah, it's wild. So they just wanted to verify it. They wanted other people to come and basically vindicate them and been all right, no, you're not crazy. This is weird.
Yeah, I think it was 125 Northeast Street, Hillsboro, Ohio. I think that was the address, but I can't remember. But I ended up we were trick or treating, and I walked up to the house because they were passing out candy. I was like, I used to live here. I was like, you ever get a creepy feeling? And then that's when they told me that they had paranormal investigators come in and everything, because they said that they were creeped out too.
Yeah, that's wild, dude.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think? What do you think it was? What kind of feeling did the presence give you? You said, kind of evil. Did you get malicious?
It felt like, it felt like evil. It felt like, I don't know. It just felt evil. I don't know. I can't explain it. It's the only time I've ever felt that in my life. I'm glad I didn't Ouija it in,
Yeah.
Wake it up even more.
Well, after
I would have.
After all the researching I've done into the kind of these topics over the years, I kind of have a theory that people that really get hung up on it and really start to give it more time and attention seem to feed these things more power, and they whatever these things are become more bold. And do it gives whatever you're doing and giving it attention, it gives them power, and so it's maybe it wasn't as bad for you guys because you guys were this is weird, and then you kind of didn't pay it any mind, and maybe it was worse for the new people because they're what's happening, what's going on, we need to get people to see it, so maybe they were having caused further issues. That's just my personal theory on those kind of issues at houses.
I agree. And then another quick story. When I was probably middle school, I was hanging out in my sister's room, and she was like, "Hey, can you go get me a glass of tea?" So I walked out and got the glass of tea. I was walking through the dining room, and then you gotta kind of turn and go into a front living room, and then go to the hallway that leads back to the bedrooms. And when I turned right there was something that was just bright white, standing right in front of me, just a huge figure. And I just took off running so fast. And I did not leave my room after that, until the next day. And then the next day, when it was daytime out, I went into the front room there. Nothing white in that area. I don't know what it was, but I didn't stick around to find out.
Anyone else in your
But
family?
that's my only ghost stories.
Anyone else in your family experience that or have experiences in the house at the same time?
My mom's seen a UFO when she was a little girl. But that's about it.
Yeah, not
Sorry,
not
I
a
kind of
ghost.
got a buzz. You know.
That's all right. Me too, buddy. That's wild. It's interesting, especially when you have those fleeting glances of things. I mean, I've always been not so much this place I've lived, but when I lived with Mr. Conspiracy, for some fucking weird reason, I don't know what was up with his house. He had honestly an sewer drain in the middle of the house. So it's like where the heat exchange was, and it was just like a big old grate that went into a black abyss. And then the closet door right beside would always swing open, and I was just like, I can't even look, because if I look at that thing, there's going to be a face under there, and I know it's going to be looking at me. But I'd always get like fleeting glances
weird.
in that house where I'd be like, I'd walk out and I'd feel like I saw someone just walk past the corner, and then you go out to check and you're like, fuck, there's no one there. And you're like, oh, I hate that. Like, did I see that? And then you're like questioning yourself. I don't get that in this house I'm currently in, but that house and the house I grew up in. But thank you so much for calling in. Right. Tell them the stories. If you got,
Yeah, no problem, man.
All right.
I'll talk to you later.
Take care of yourself. Oh, wait. Don't go. Did you hang up?
What?
No.
What?
Tell me
what's in the box.
What's in the box?
I'm going to guess a hoodie. It's a hoodie.
It's not a hoodie.
Send it my way.
It's not a hoodie. Take care of yourself.
Well, put a hoodie in there. Send it my way.
Maybe next time. Take care of yourself.
Hey, wait. I almost forgot to tell you.
Fucking asshole. Nobody pranks me on my own show. Just like that, the lines are open. 1-833-703-0424. If you've got a story to tell, a story you've been itching to tell, a ghost story. Lots of ghost stories tonight, and that's fine. Let's keep the ghost. Let's keep that ghost train rolling, baby. I love it. Let's explore the paranormal together. Make some weird connections. But we've got tons of people who have been just pitching in to top up the cosmic coffers here. We've got Clayton, Alan, Julissa, longtime supporter, and a couple more in the chat I'll get to. Callers take priority. Let's go right to the call. Cosmic Channels, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Chango from Discord.
Hey, Chango.
From Texas.
What's going on?
What's going on?
Hey, I was just about to give you a shout out. I saw you give a nice fat donation to the Cosmic Coffers. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
What do you got? What do you got for us tonight?
So I got kind of a paranormal / dream.
I'll allow it.
Story.
I'll allow it.
Okay.
So it's a one dream. We've got a one dream rule, and to be honest, no one's really called in with dreams, so I'll allow it. Let's hear it.
Okay, so a small backstory. I had started a new job, right?
Yeah.
And I got introduced to a coworker, and we just chatted up, the usual, like where you're from, this and that. That same night, I had a dream that I guess, I don't know if it was a dream or astral projection, but in my dream, I was at this person's house. I didn't know at the time, but in my dream, I was just in the house. I didn't know where I was, and there was a dog laying on the couch, and the dog was talking to me. It was telling me, hey, some stuff's going to happen. Make sure you're there for her. And I was like so confused. I was like, who? And then that's all it was. That's all the dream was, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't think much of it. And then about a week goes by, and that same coworker, she was all sad because her dog had died. And so I was like humming and hawing for about a week. Like, should I tell her the dream I had? Because I felt like that dog was trying to tell me to be there for her. But I didn't want to just say that to some person I just met. But anyways, about a week later, I told her, I was like, hey, does your house look like this? I started giving her details. She looked at me and she's like, how do you know all this? And so I told her the dream I had, and she like freaked out because she said that her mom was really into like all that, I don't know what the proper term, but all that like astral projection, dreams, astrology stuff.
Yeah.
And she asked me if I've ever been into it. I was like, I'm into it, but I never like got into it, if that makes sense. It interests me, but I never practiced it or nothing.
Yeah.
And it's really weird. I mean, that's all it was, but it was just really weird.
Dude, it's not, I mean, that's not uncommon as you think, because like before I was with my current spouse, I would have been like, oh, that's crazy, you had a dream, like, you know, what are the odds kind of thing. But like, since I've been with my current spouse, she will have like legit, and I'm going to call them premonitions. She will have a weird dream. Sometimes they involve the death of people, and she'll tell me these dreams, and then they've come true like a couple weeks after, including like a death, like she predicted in this dream. And it's like, you're kind of like, that is so so fucking weird that you're dreaming these things. I keep telling her to dream us winning the lottery, but there's seemingly no control over this ability. It just kind of like, so maybe you're just like receptive to it, right? Like maybe you're a beacon for this kind of stuff, for something to the other side to reach through and give you these visions. Have you ever had anything else like that?
Yeah, not so weird, but just like small premonitions, like for example, like, I don't know, I can't really think off the top of my head, but nothing that crazy, like predicting the death of a dog of a person I don't even know, you know?
Yeah, that's
in that person's house.
And then finding out after, yeah, that's.
Yeah, but yeah, like I've always been interested in it, but honestly, I've been kind of scared to get too deep into it, because like I've heard stories from other people, like you have to be careful because you can like get too deep into it, and I feel like I'm the type of person that would, to be honest.
I mean, I'd be just I agree. I definitely agree that you should, you know, err on the side of caution in delving into the unknown. But like, I kind of would be like, as you know, have you ever thought about like looking into ways to enhance the ability? Like if there's ways that you can like focus that ability, like that specific thing, like not like, and I mean with, you know, with caution, obviously you don't want to open doors or stuff for things that we don't know about. But that's kind of what would curious me, is like, is this something that you could tame like this, or control, or get some sort of grasp? Or is it just, maybe it's something you just sit back? I haven't done the research, so I have no idea.
Yeah, I've never really like, I mean, I've like Googled a few things, but I never really try to get too deep into it, mainly because I don't know nobody that's that deep into that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that person that I had that dream about, she told me her mom was really into that stuff, but her mom passed away like years before that, so.
Well, and
I don't have no.
Well, it would kind of make sense to me that maybe it was the mom reaching out through the, like in the dream as the dog. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Right, because like
I didn't think about that.
She's, the dog's telling you need to like be there for her. She's trying to, you know, she maybe the mom knew that the dog was going to pass away, right? And she's giving you this image, but that's all she could do. That's all she could, you know, conjure up. For the premonition. It's interesting. It's wild. It must have been, did it give you shivers? How'd you feel when you realized that you're like, oh shit, I fucking saw this?
I was like, yeah, I was like confused, and like I said, I was like, should I tell her? She's gonna think I'm crazy. But I ended up telling her, and we ended up becoming like really good friends. Like we don't work together no more, but we still talk on a daily, so
cool.
It worked out.
Right on, man. Well, Chango, I want you to, let's hone that ability right now. I want you to send your mind into the astral plane, all the way to North Vancouver Island, into my studio, and picture me a week ago placing an object in the box, and tell me what's in the box.
Is it a hat?
It is not a hat. Chango, you got some, you know, don't worry. You're not haven't honed those abilities yet, but thank you so much for calling in. And listen, if you're one of those people that are going, you know, I have a weird dream similar to Chango's, that's a cool dream. Those are cool dreams.
Yeah.
And I accept one dream call a night. So if you want to call in, if you had a weird dream that came true, I'm down to hear it. Bring it on, just like Chango did tonight. Chango, thank you so much for calling in, and thank you so much for your support to the show. I was going to give you a huge shout out. The show dies without people like you, so thank you so much for helping Cosmic Channels. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, man, no problem.
All right, Chango,
Happy to help.
take care of yourself.
All right, take care, man.
Bye. Oh, that's weird, man. Having dreams that come true. I've never had that, but I've had like the deja vus. You know, like I think everyone's kind of had those experiences where you've like been in a situation, and then as the situation starts to unfold, you kind of go like, I've done this before. This, like, you, as people are saying things, you're kind of going, oh, I've experienced all this before. What's going on? We got time for one more call though. 1-833-703-0424. But like I said, we've had tons of people helping support Cosmic Channels. We're very near our goal of getting that ad campaign and this ad campaign, people were like, oh, we thought we were already raising money for ads. We were using it for social media. I boosted tons of posts. We actually saw a nice return on those boosted ads. We got, I'll talk about more of that in the shareholders meeting after the show. But let me try to go through. I had people's names written down. John Jacoby, thank you so much for chipping in, and Hillbilly chipping in. If I forget your name, do not worry. Sometimes I lose it in the chat. At the beginning of the episode, I name you all as sponsoring this episode. I just saw we just got an awesome donation in from Astrocat Gaming, who will soon not going to give anything away. Shouldn't have said that at all. Thank you, Astrocat. Really appreciate that. But we need a call. We need a call, or I'm going to shut the lines now because it's 7:02. We're going to take the shareholders meeting long, but I got time for one more call. 1-833-703-0424. And just like that, we just hit our most. This has been our most concurrent viewers ever watching a Cosmic Channel. So thank you for that. That means there's more watching. There's more of you watching than ever before, which means you have no reason not to call. 1-833-703-0424. Let's see. I'm confident we can get one more call before the end of the night. But again, we this ad campaign, it's gonna be basically a podcast run ad. We're gonna run Cosmic Channels ad on the beginning of podcasts that are similar. Last call on the line. Let's go to them. Cosmic Channels, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
The Irish Potato from Idaho.
Oh, what's going on, Irish Potato? What do you got for us? You're on Bluetooth again, or what?
Let me get it off Bluetooth. I'm sorry.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Is that better?
That's 1,000 times better. You know how much work I had to go through to try to even make you sound reasonable? Unbelievable. I even turned you down a couple of octaves to deepen your voice a little bit for you. No problem. No thank yous needed.
Well, it takes a lot to deepen my voice. I just got a quick ghost story.
Let's hear it.
At my high school, it's actually has the biggest auditorium in the state of Idaho.
Yeah.
It can seat like, I think the number was like 1,200 people. But they used like the balcony as a place where people can go like watch fights. So like there was a big like projector screen that would drop down, and then dudes would go up there and watch, boxing matches and whatnot. So like,
I thought you just meant like that's where the high schoolers would fight.
Oh no!
They just go up there and watch the high schoolers fight.
No, they would go up there and like they'd smoke, they'd drink up there. It was pretty wild what they were allowed to do up there. But they had a projector room, and I got talking to a janitor one day, and he told me he went up there to do some work and went to go turn on the light, and it didn't turn on, so he had to use like the flashlight on his phone, and he was working, and he looks up at the light because he starts to like kind of like see something out of the corner of his eye, and he goes, I saw a mist start coming out of the light, and then it started to take like a humanoid figure, and he goes, the second I saw that, I ran out of the room. I was like, why didn't you stay in there and see what it was? He goes, I don't want that thing to attach to me. So that's the quick story I had just to add to the ghost.
I mean,
story, 'cause I
that's
thought it was cool.
You've called in about. Is that the same high school you've called in about before? Because that high school has some murders and stuff in it, if I remember correctly, or something else has happened with the high school. Okay. I mean.
Yeah.
And
that's
like.
That was. Do you remember when I told you about the two boys that like the one janitor would let like go inside the balcony?
Yeah. Yes, I kind of recall that.
That is the projector room is right above where those two kids would hang out before they went and killed Cassie just started. That might actually be a cool Daddies and Baddies episode if you guys are looking for a new.
We got a little list of stuff going on now. We've had a ton of people wanting us to cover different murders and stuff. So we do have a list of things that we've chalked down. So shoot me in a message on it. I'm just trying to think if there's any like. I'm just like the only thing like I'm like. The only time I've seen anything where I would chalk it up to being like, but you would know right away. That's the thing. I've seen like I've been in a room where it's like downstairs and people were on the roof and they start bouncing around, and as they kind of jump around, it's like those old like lights that are kind of sunk in and they have like the cage around them,
right?
And everything shakes and you get that like almost that dust mist come off everything that kind of glows. But I'm like, that's not taking a human shape, you know? It's like. This guy's sitting there, and like when you like just it's a janitor. Listen, I talked shit about garbage men one time as a joke, and I actually took a lot of heat for it. So I'm not shitting on janitors. All I'm saying is, did this guy have booze breath or anything? Like any was this guy a weird dude or was he a legit custodian?
I mean, he was a little bit weird, but he never gave me the vibe of like. On drugs or alcohol or anything like that.
Yeah. Okay. So legit, like something was happening.
What this when he told me this was probably 10 years ago. No, probably longer than that, 11, 12 years ago. And he's still working at the school. So, like, dude's kind of he's straight and narrow. Like,
yeah,
he's a good dude.
Huh. Interesting. Get him to call in. I want to go there and give him the number.
I will.
Yeah,
I'll try.
Give him the number. Be like, hey, man, remember that ghost story you told me? Can you call in and verify? Everyone thinks I'm a liar, and they want you to call in. You're the only way you can clear my name is if you call in Cosmic Channels.
That's not even the worst ghost story, but I'll save it for another night.
Beauty. Hey, thank you, Irish Potato, for calling in. But before you go,
yep.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
Is it a original Cosmic Channels T-shirt with the pit stains from you?
No, it is not.
Okay.
Thank you so much for calling in. Have yourself a good night there, Irish Potato.
You as well, man.
Just like that, we're going to shut down the lines for the night. Thank you to all the supporters of Cosmic Channels. It's been awesome. This was our most watched live stream. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for your donations. We're going to just use it to keep growing the show. Hopefully we can get more and more stories and more weird accounts of the strange and unknown. But for tonight, Cosmic Channels are now closed. Stick around for the shareholders meeting. It's a shareholders meeting. What's up, everyone? What an awesome Cosmic Channels. I mean, I feel like we really hit our stride on Cosmic Channels at 7.4. I was like, 7.4 was awesome. And then it was like 7.5 was awesome. Then 7.6 was awesome. 7.7 was awesome. 7.8 was awesome. This was awesome. It's so nice getting fresh calls and tons of people calling in. It's awesome. It's so fun. It really ignites my passion for Cosmic Channels. But it's also paying off because last week was our most listened to week of all time. Not of all time. Since I brought it back, last Thursday was our Last Thursday was our most listened to single day download since I brought it back. The day after, the last Friday was the biggest Friday listen since it's been back. Saturday was the biggest Saturday listen. Sunday was the biggest Sunday listen. And you're getting the gist. It was the biggest week we've had, big growth, and we are on pace for tonight. The 7.8 release podcast version is going to be our biggest release. It's 9 downloads away from being our biggest release, and it's already our biggest downloaded our biggest listened to episode. And the live stream, we hit our most concurrent viewers. I had a goal. I have little milestones that I just kind of keep track of, and one of them was to have 50 concurrent viewers. Smash that tonight. We're looking at we're going for 100 concurrent viewers now. That'll be next. But if you want, looking for ways to help the show that we can grow, I need everyone to go and watch some videos on the Cosmic Channels YouTube. Go check it out. Watch it on Cosmic Channels. Let a couple older streams just play through. We need to get up to 3,000 hours of watch time. I think we're at 120 right now for the year, and we have to have 3,000 for 365 days. So, it's early in the year. We got tons of time. Oh yeah, background music's on. There we go. I had both background musics going. Whoops, I didn't realize that. This is the most haunted stream of all time. I stamped that. I think what I'm going to do at the beginning of the episode, I find the beginning of the there's two things I want to discuss. As I've been looking at the data. First off, I've been looking at I'm going to start opening the show very quickly, and unless I get a call in the first 2 minutes as I'm doing the intro that interrupts the intro, I think I'm going to just throw it to a fan submission read by someone, because I actually have tons in the bank now. Everyone who's I've sent them to has sent them back, most of them. I'm just working on editing them. I usually like to do one, and I think I'll have a second one prepped in case it's a slow night, but it hasn't been. So I think I like starting the episode like that, and it also gives the first caller, me and the first caller tonight, Tommy, we just shot the shit for 3 minutes before, so it was kind of nice, kind of loosen him up, loosen me up before we kind of got the stories. I think that worked better. I think I'm going to keep doing that. The other thing is, the show really hits its stride viewer-wise at 6:30. Now, I don't know if it's just because it's streaming for a while and people are starting to jump in and then want to hear calls, or if I've been humming and hawing, do I shift the show to a 6:30 start time? But then the thing is eventually I would like to use the 7 to 7:30 time slot that we usually do for shareholders meeting. I would like to slowly encroach on that. So maybe I'll just leave that the same. The lines are open, though. So if anyone has any ideas for the show that they want to pitch or anything, you can call in the lines. How do you like? I don't know what that means, Duchess Doobie. I do like. Let me know if you can do it on Twitch. I think you have to be on YouTube. What does that mean? We'll make sure to mute the phone during the fan submission. Could you guys hear me? Could you guys hear me chatting with that guy? No, there's no way you could have. I don't have that set up. John Jacoby, you're just, I don't believe anything you say anymore. Like the stream. Like the stream. I don't know what like the stream means. What do you mean like the stream? Cosmic Channels.
A long-time listener, second-time caller.
What's going on, buddy?
Hey, so I have a buddy that is going to be calling in. He has his own podcast. He done a bunch of like paranormal stuff, like, you know, went out with all the
gear
readers and all that stuff. Yeah, and like he's like has a bunch of alien stories and stuff. Like he's wrote books. Like, so I'm trying to get him to call in next Thursday.
Yeah,
but he would be a great guest for the show. I mean, this guy has so much to talk about.
Well, let him know if he wants to be the first call. If he calls me at if he calls, I open the lines. This is only the shareholders will know this. I open the lines at 5:50. And that's basically if any one of you guys wants to call who's listening at, you know, in these times where we're changing the show, it gives you a 10-minute window to become the first caller, right? Or jump on the line. So let him know if he calls as early as 5:50, I'll guarantee, like, pretty much guaranteed he's on the show. So
okay, well, I'll let him know. That's all I needed to say.
Beauty. But before you go, any tweaks? How you liking it? Are you enjoying the show as a live stream? What can I do to make it
man. I think that you should just stay on live like all the time and just never hang up. That's what I think. I think that'd be pretty dope.
Yeah, it's hard. I think I'm going to. Here's. Let's stay on the line for a second. Here's what this week was 7.9, so 7.10. I was going to tie the seasons of the show with the number of episodes. So what I would like to do, right now we have 75 episodes. So I'm going to continue with my week-on-week streak till we get to 80 episodes or 79 episodes. And 79 episodes will be the season finale of season 7, which we're currently in. And then season 8.0 will be season 8, and also it will be episode 80.
Nice.
Just to kind of clean up the episodic jumps of Cosmic Channels. One of the things I'm thinking about doing, and I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to try to do it March 3rd. No, I can do it. I can do it the 25th. I'm going to open up the lines Sunday the 25th at probably like 8 in the morning. And the reason I'm doing that is because we have a ton of people that listen in the UK that can never call because it's like the middle of the night for them, right? So I think I'm going to try to open the lines. And even if I have to sit there for 2 hours and I only get 3 calls, at least I can put those calls into the following Thursday show, right? So then some other people get an option. So I am going to try to start streaming more and longer. It's just like it's just one of those things where like the results dictate how much time I can actually give, and I'm giving as much as I can right now. And it is growing. It's growing. I have 0 complaints. Everything's growing. Our Instagram's at 800 followers now. I mean, our TikTok's at like 20, but that's okay. I don't really I'm not that active on TikTok. So it is growing. It's growing. So it's lovely to see. And as it grows more, it's going to allow me to really be like, well, you know, I can justify putting in more time because of the growth. So it's a work in progress. I'll get there.
So is there any way that you can link, like, make it where you could go live on your cell phone and they would be able to hear the callers calling in?
Yes, I could easily do that. The problem with that is the problem with going live like that on my cell phone would be that I can't record good audio for the podcast version.
No, not for recording audio. So there's an app called. Are you there?
Yep.
Okay, so there's an app called Meet Me. It's like kind of like a dating site, but it's a bunch of people just go live on it, and people will send you diamonds on there. So you could just go live, and people would just listen and send you diamonds. And once you get 80,000 diamonds, it's $200 cash. You get to cash it in.
What's it called?
I'm just saying, Meet Me, and then there's like Tagged, Tagged, But Meet Me, you would do better on. I've been live streaming for years.
Meet Me.
But I'm just thinking, like, if you just set your cell phone up and just act like that one's not even going and people are just listening to the show, it might, generate a little bit of more people coming into the stream, hopping into the YouTube,
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
I'm just throwing some ideas out there for you.
I like it. I've got that. What was the other one? Meet Me. And what was the other one?
Tagged. So Meet Me is more like the bougie kind of app where like more rich people are, and then Tagged is more like the ghetto side, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, listen,
there's nothing wrong with being ghetto.
Listen, I'm gonna kill on the tagged version, the Meet Me version.
Yeah, I mean, I like my women with an upper lip and a booty, if you know what I'm saying.
Jesus Christ. All right. Yeah, Tagged and Meet Me. All right. I'll check these out. Because I might be able.
Don't go live on Kick.
I might be able to. I might be able to throw these out on. Like through OBS. I might be able because I can mimic a cell phone on my computer, so I might be able to just do it right on my computer, and actually have them just listen to the show rather than
yeah.
So we'll see. I'll try. I'll give it a shot. Thanks for calling for
I'm
the
just
feedback.
Thinking of other ways to reach out, but yeah,
man, I like it. These are ideas I need. So thank you so much.
Yeah, have a good night, bro.
All right, peace out.
All right, bye.
The other thing is too, I launched the merch store. So if you want, do not buy a sticker. In fact, as we're talking here, I'm gonna pull that sticker. It made me mad when I made it. I was like, well, it's $7 sticker at cost is $7. I was like, that's an insanely expensive sticker. So I think I'm gonna work something out with Silver Lotus, but that's this is inviting crazies to call. Yeah, see, and that's the kind of thing. It's like it's a tough one for me because I'm like I don't want I want the show to spread, but I want the show to spread with people that are interesting. Because to be honest, some of the people that I've even followed on Instagram, sometimes I've targeted, like, I'm like, this person seems a little crazy. They'll like comment on other podcast posts of similar shows, and I'm like, hit them a follow. Then they follow me, and then they start messaging me, and I'm like, ooh, I do not like this. This is not. This is I don't want this person to call, and I think if people remember the previous iteration of Cosmic Channels, we had a couple head injuries call in, and you're just like, holy smokes. Is this a talk show? You calling to talk about your dreams? Yes, it is. I was Jade Taylor. Yeah, Silver Lotus is going to be a sticker maker. I wanted to talk to Silver Lotus because I wasn't sure if she does patches too or what. But I'm going to reach out to her, and we're going to figure something out for stickers because a lot of people said they were interested in stickers as well. But if you go to our store, crowdmade.com/collections/Cosmic Channels, or you can just go to crowdmade.com and then in their search bar, search Cosmic Channels. And I've got a hoodie, a couple t-shirts, and I think they're priced reasonably. I mean, on par with other things I was looking. And basically everything gets the show $10. So if you get yourself something, it gets $10. I was thinking about putting a shirt out that at cost, that's just the Cosmic Channels with the QR code. And if you want to buy, it would be like, probably like $16, $16.99. Jade, the best way is the PayPal. That comes right to us. YouTube doesn't take any. We get it directly. It doesn't. We don't have to pay any processing fee other than the PayPal, whatever it is, $1 or something. But that's the best way, 100%. But other than that, I mean, we still have some boosted ads left that are getting lots of clicks. Everything's growing. So that's what I love to see. I love to see that upward trend of things. I do not have a Cash App. I don't even know what that means. The other thing that I wanted to ask was, I would buy a patch and a sticker immediately. See Silver Lotus. Well, I'm gonna shoot out to Silver Lotus. But the other thing is, if you got cool Cosmic Channels art, send it in. I'll make it a shirt. That's the one thing where the show is lacking right now. We have no fan art. We never have, actually. The only thing one person sent in one picture, but it wasn't usable. But it was a cool artwork, but couldn't use it for anything. Captain Redbeard, if your dad worked at Area 51, call the show right now, and I'll plug your story in at the end of the show for the podcast version. This is the other thing I'm going to try. You're going to notice. So if you guys haven't been noticing, if you haven't been, those of you watching live, I love it. Continue to watch live. But I'm starting to tweak the live stream. So you'll notice that the live stream for last week is a little edited. Intros cut. Some middle portions are cut. And this week, what I'm going to do, because we had lots of like back-to-back callers, is I'm actually going to cut the call out goodbye. And I'm just going to interject. I'm going to record myself just giving a quick little thought before I throw it to the next caller. See how that listen is. So look for that next week. I'm going to try to do a little bit more on the editing side of things. So we'll see. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not cut, and don't worry, it's not cut. It's not cut, because eventually, when I need another hour of all the cutting room floor stuff, I'm gonna put an hour together of the stuff that doesn't make the cut. And to be honest, I think I'm going to, for the shows that run longer than an hour, I am going to cut a story, and it, maybe it's the best story, maybe it's depending on how the whole episode went. I'm going to cut one story and just put it aside, not because I don't like it, but because I want to use it in the future for playback. And hey, there was no. I also cut a bunch of Lizard Caveman. I cut his joke. That's for live here. But I also want it. I want it to be special when you come here. I want it to be when you cut, because someone told me that the show's scary, and to be honest, I didn't realize it was a scary show. I didn't, because when I'm talking, I'm more interested in these things. And then when I actually I do listen to them. So when I was really listening to one at night, I went, damn, I was listening to one of the stories and I went, God damn, this is kind of scary. And I went, oh, I didn't kind of realize that the podcast version has a little bit more of a scary vibe. And I think I want to lean into that. And then the live stream where we're getting the calls and stuff, it's more personal. It's a little more like it's kind of two different things. So it's like you can enjoy the live stream and enjoy the podcast version, or enjoy the podcast version and then go and check the live stream afterwards. But I think I'm going to try to be more. Money for a hat fund. Oh. I think money for the half a hat. Oh, for Dan's half hat. Well, you sent it to the wrong place, but that's okay. I will make sure it gets there. To be honest, we hit that goal, smashed that goal. Dan, we've already got the hat on its way to Dan. He's going to be heading to Flavortown. Thank you, Jade. I'll make sure to give you, if on the episode you'll be one of the sponsored. So thank you so much for sending that in. Oh, what happened to the chat here? There we go. You came so far, but exactly scary. What is? But not exactly. Yeah, it's dark. Yeah, it's on. Like some stories are scarier than others. But I mean, I'm gonna try to lean into the. I'm not gonna cut the conversation that I have with people, because I think that sets this show apart from other call-in shows where it's just the caller. I do like the kind of interactions and stuff, but that's my personal. What do you guys think? Do you like that? I'm going to try something new on 7.9, But like, how'd you like 7.8, the episode that came out today? What are your thoughts? Anything, tweak anything? Turn the background music up, turn it down. That's what I'm looking for. Did you like the intro? Bringing the intro in. Yeah, I am not. I am the proclaimed main character of Cosmic Channels. That's only because the other guys don't have time. And Thursday nights was a night where I would try to record bonus stuff. And to be honest, this show came back due to a frustration of me trying to juggle 4 other people's timelines to do bonus content. And I was like, you know what? If I set myself a schedule, I can do this. And then I was like humming and hawing, and I went, you know what? I would love to do Cosmic Channels again. So that's why this came about. Yeah. Well, listen, when you got a face like this, you got to show it off. What do you want me to say? Right? I'm not going to be humble. I'm just kidding. No, it's a group effort. It really is. So, everyone is so sensitive. I miss the pettiness. We're still petty. We're always petty. It's good. I can't think of anything to change. Change economy. Well, I'm gonna. You know what I'm gonna do? There is gonna be not a stark departure. It's gonna be a noticeable different on 7.9. I don't want to cut too much. What I'm going to do is, I'm not going to cut too much. I'm going to just clean up the in between saying goodbye. Because when I say goodbye, and if there's a call on the line, it really only gives me sometimes, I think, 10 seconds before it just auto dials the next person and just lets me know there's been a call on the line. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut that just so I can share my thoughts on the story. I can be like, oh, that's a really terrifying call of this and that. And then I can also say, like, you know, if you have so for example, the guy who called in about the punk house and hearing the ghost, I could, after his call ends, I could go, you know, that's a terrifying story. And if you have an account, if you lived in a house with a basement and you heard guttural sounds or you heard weird unexplained noises, this is the show to call in. You can call in your show live Thursdays, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think that's how you say it. 1-833-703, or you can write in your story to CosmicChannelsPodcast@gmail.com. But we have another call on the line. Let's go to that caller. And then the ringer will pull up. So instead of having 10 seconds between calls, you have a little bit of an outro of just me sharing my thoughts about what happened to give some context. So then it would just be, I think that just makes it a little interesting. So I'm going to try that. I think I'm going to try it. But then it also, the flow is different on either show. The flow on the live stream is, I think it feels more, for me at least, like when I'm editing, I edit with a completely different mindset than when I'm doing the live stream. The live stream is like me juggling all these things, so I have to have an air of brevity and like kind of lightness to it, because I'm just like, I am max stressed trying to make sure everything's working at all times. So I'm just like, I have to just enjoy myself, which is really fun. I actually have a lot of really truly do have a lot of fun doing this show, which is why I do it. But I just want to step up the podcast version a little bit this time. But again, I don't have the time, so we're just going to see how we're going to do. Uncle Slam has, we really stress the email and the phone number, contact info. Yes. Well, exactly. He's saying that we got to stress the email and phone number and contact info instead of the number and email. Yes. Yes, that's exactly what I'm shooting for. And ways to donate to the show and stuff just in the episodes. Like, you know, it's not going to be long. It's not going to be dragged on between callers, because I do plug in the ads for the public podcast. So I'll keep it short and sweet for the breaks that have the ads. I won't add too much, and then the breaks between calls that don't have ads, I might add a little more. But okay, yeah, I think so. Next week, make sure in the morning to listen to 7.9, because I'm going to put a little bit more work into that. And then we can see. But again, fan art. If you guys are artists or some designers, send me stuff. Send me some fan art. Let's try it. Makes sense. The easier your job is, the better the content can be. It's not, to be honest, it's not easier. It's not easier. It's more work. But when I listen, I think that by doing this, I think it will add to a crisper podcast version. So I want to try it. And I'm like I said, when I said like when the growth of the show justifies me putting in more work, this is one of those things. I'm like, I'm seeing the growth. I see an avenue where I think I can make things better. It's going to be a little bit more work, but I don't mind doing it because it's been, you know, what we've been doing. We've been seeing success, which is nice to see. Anything else? Any other things we want to work on? We've got the what's in the box here. It's cool. That's all I'm going to say. It's cool. I'm going to send it in. I think I'm going to add a song for next week too. So when I hit the what's in the box, maybe it'll be a little soundboard of like what's in the box. But we'll see. No, I cannot screen calls. I will have someone guest host, probably closer to the end of season 7. So once we're close, we're 5 episodes away from 80 episodes, and that's when I'll end it. So 7.12, season 7, episode 12. I think we'll get Andrew to guest host. He presents well. Listen to Weird Darkness podcast. Can I be honest? Be honest about I don't like. I'll check it out, but I don't always like listening to other hosts and podcasts for inspiration for myself for presenting, because I don't like that stuff. Kind of, then I'm not me. You know what I mean? Like sometimes when you listen to something, you're like, oh, that guy does that so well. You want to kind of imitate that. And I don't like having to put the work in to imitate it. I just like coming on and doing my thing. But Weird Darkness. I do like listening to podcasts to get ideas for the show, though. So I will check it out, but we'll see. I want Byron and Ozzy Cosmic Channel. We'll see. These are all good ideas. I'm going to try. Okay. You can tell you Edson. Yeah, I'll take a peek. I'm going to try to get a guest host. Andrew's going to be the easiest one for me to do. And then Dan. And then I've talked to some other special guest people that would be interested in doing it. It's just setting up a time and making sure they have enough advance notice to kind of let, you know, if they have audiences, let their people know, so then they could have kind of a takeover. But we'll see. So thank you all for, you know, always giving me feedback and helping grow the show. Really appreciate it. It's been awesome. It's been honestly, I hate my 9 to 5, so this has been a real pick me up whenever I'm coming on to Cosmic Channels. I always think I don't have energy to do it, and I'm like, oh, I got to really pick myself up the ground here to get this done. And then as soon as the first call goes, I'm like, oh yeah, this is awesome. I love doing Cosmic Channels. So thank you everyone for providing me another creative outlet that's you know, just really fun. I can try to get her to call. She probably won't, and to be honest, the show is right around our little one's bedtime, so but maybe I can get her to pre-record a story or two about some of her paranormal experiences. But thank you all. I'm out of here for tonight. I'm gonna go have some lasagna. I don't think there's anything else. If you want a shirt, you know what? I'll make I don't want anyone here in the. You know what? Listen, I'm gonna make a promo code. If you're in our Discord in our little corner of the alien theorists theorizing Discord in the Cosmic Channels corner, I'm gonna make a promo code for you guys if you want to buy merch, so you can just buy yourself some merch. But I will work on that tomorrow, and we will see all of you next week, other than on Discord. Peace out, everybody. Thank you so much.